So choosing the first book for my YouTube channel was actually quite easily. I'm sorry, not quite easy. It was quite easy. It's actually this book right here. I figured probably most people are interested in investing, basically just using a computer. Not having to, get certified. Go out and have to hustle, like in other professions. Work in sales or whatnot. I mean, you basically go at your own pace, doing what you need to do. Specifically for stocks, this book, from what I remember, addresses individual stock picking, not necessarily investing in overall general portfolios, etc., etc. If you are, I guess, a fundamental analyst, you kind of relate to people like Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, who base their portfolios on fundamental analysis. Then this book is actually a great book. It is actually the only book that I really felt comfortable reading and actually applying the knowledge to stocks that I comfortably chose, which fit my, I guess, timeline and my attitude towards investing. The most important thing for me was being able to figure out how to calculate intrinsic value. This one, I believe, based it on future cash flow estimations. And honestly, it was the only formula that made sense to me. And the reason why it made sense to me is because, if you can see here, I believe the book was about 185 pages. It is actually written very scientifically, kind of like a not necessarily not necessarily like a research paper, but more like a lab report. Goes step by step, kind of going through findings that the author has found. Here's the author, Danial, Jiwani, and I'll talk about him, what I remember about him from reading this book. But this book, if you are, I guess, scientifically minded person, if that even is a real word, this book is written kind of like a proof or a theorem, where he goes through the steps and assumptions and theories and proves them to derive the final formula that the author, I guess, ended up with to calculate the intrinsic value of a stock. And that's why I like this book. Now, I have seen other intrinsic value calculations in other books, and they weren't very clear on how they derived the formula. So when I saw it, number one, I didn't even understand the formula. The variables that they were asking to fill out, I didn't even know what to fill in. But this one, they define each variable in the formula and how the variable was derived and where to get the actual data from to fill in the variable. This book has been of tremendous assistance to me. I don't know if it can help you, but I wanted to talk about this book because it actually has given me some great results. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, and this book may not work for everybody, but I wanted to let you guys know that this book really helped me out, and it doesn't hurt to read it just to kind of get another perspective on how people analyze stocks using fundamental analysis. Now, the interesting thing about the author, and I hope I say his name right, Danial Jiwani, I think he was 19 when he wrote this book, and this book is relatively new. I believe it was written in 2020, after the pandemic occurred, and from what I remember, he actually addresses the pandemic in this book. So it does take into account the fact that we are in a very wild market that took a huge dive, I believe, due to the coronavirus that happened. I believe in March of 2020, when the market really started to go nuts. And it still is going nuts to this day. It's interesting, but I don't really want to get into that. I'm not qualified as a financial advisor, and honestly, I just started, my stock portfolio, I believe, in 2020. And I can get to my background in another video, of course, and I'll talk about myself. I love to talk about myself so you get to know me, and that way you understand all the books I'm reading and why I chose those books and how I use the knowledge to apply to my own thinking. And of course, I encourage you to read these books and apply the knowledge that you gain to your own understanding and to apply to your life. The way that I look at books is that, you can't, the greatest books are the ones where you can use all of the content in the book to apply to your life. But most books that I read, I only find maybe one or two things that really kind of talk to me, and I use those two things or three things or one thing that I find in a book to help me out. And I could read like 300 pages and only find one thing, one page that applies to me. But that one page made it completely worth it for reading the entire book. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this book. This is the first book that I wanted to, I guess, discuss on how it helped me, and it really made me feel comfortable as a beginner to start out investing in the stock market. So let me know your thoughts below. Obviously, I can't give any financial advice. Comments below really can't. If I definitely don't want too much financial advice going around, but it is the comment section. And let me know if you've read this book, and if you plan on reading this book, and what you think of it, and how you've applied it to your life. All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye bye.